Welcome to Linda's Corner. My name is Linda Bjork, and today we're going to be talking about turning our baggage into luggage. I'm excited to welcome special guest Donna Tashjian. Donna is an author, speaker, coach, podcast host, and the founder of Vibrant Living International. She has developed powerful programs to help women rise above a painful past so they can live the life of their dreams. Donna offers a free ebook called An Umbrella on a Sunny Day, and I'll include a link in the description. Welcome, Donna. I'm so glad that you could join with me today.
Thank you, Linda. It is my pleasure to spend this time with you.
Thank you. All right, so baggage into luggage. Can we talk about that? What that means?
Well, it is my focus is helping people rise above a painful past so that they can be who God created them to be and live the life of their dreams with confidence and ease. And so, first, a lot of times we've had disappointments and outright tragedies happen in our life. And we don't always completely process them or heal from them. And so that thought is to turn your baggage into luggage. So change it into something good so that it can actually propel you into your purpose and your destiny.
I agree with everything that you said 100%. And I have learned from my experience and experience of my friends and associates that time does not magically heal all wounds.
Absolutely not.
Time buries old wounds.
Yes.
And sometimes we might even forget what the wound is. Sometimes we remember, but sometimes you can forget and not even know what it is. And it's like that sliver under your skin that just it hurts if you touch anywhere near it. And it's not until we open it up and pull that out that actual healing can begin. So I'm delighted to be hearing your message. So I would love to hear some of your strategies of how you do it. I know in your book you talk about your 4 keys to rise above a painful past and to live the life you've always dreamed. So
Mhm.
is it okay if we talk about those 4 keys?
Absolutely. That'll be fine. Mm. So, um, I don't have the book in front of me. So, one second. I know one of the keys off the top of my head, but I want to be able to have it in front of me to look at. One of them is, I call it our understanding. And it is the process that we go through when we realize that something good can come out of everything. Um, it doesn't magically do that, but it can. Especially with God on our side, all things can work together for good. So the belief is that learning that um, we act like that somehow it's just going to get all better and it doesn't. So learning that all things can work together to good. I like to call it gifts wrapped in sandpaper. They rub us the wrong way. They cause us to be uncomfortable. They cause all, and some of them are outright tragic. But everything can be turned for good. And in the book, I talk about um, my own story. I share a lot of personal stories of my things that have occurred as well. Have you ever?
Wonderful. I definitely would like to go there. Do you want to go there first and then find the other 3 out of the 4 things, or?
Uh, go where on my story?
Yeah.
Okay, well we can go there. I got that one memorized. I lived it.
I understand that very much.
Yes. Well, the book begins, and I'm not going to tell everything in the book because I want people to get it. But the book begins with me telling a story, and it was a hot July day, still remember, and I was living in Texas, so it's a deep level of hot. And I was standing in the bathroom. I was uh, 14 or 15 years old, and I had tears running down my face, and I was counting and going, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I can't be. I can't be pregnant.
Oh,
But I
dear.
was. But I was. A few months prior, a family member had hurt me, and I hadn't told anybody. Nobody knew anything. And I grew up in a religious home where this was not going to be okay. And that began a very, to say those next few years were hard. I don't know the adjectives to describe the despair, the shame, the fear, hopelessness, uh, low self esteem, all of those kind of things that came out of that place. I had my little girl when I was 15. I raised her on my own until I got married, and then my husband later on adopted her. But those years of trying to really the only thing that helped me not to be what everybody said I was going to become was my faith in God. It was the only thing that held me steady as I cried most days, wondering how I was going to make it, how I was going to feed her, how everything was going to work out. So I understand a lot of the pains that we go through, and your pain will be different. That yours is different, but I do understand. And one of the things that I call the stumbling blocks in the book is we began to try to please everybody, to keep everybody happy, especially with low self esteem, because I want to be loved. And so it makes us make poor decisions from that place because if I'm just becoming a yes person, saying yes to everything to be able to be accepted and to feel like I fit in and all of the things like that. So learning that we can begin to respect ourselves and respect our own values. And I'd go a lot more detail in the book, but being able to realize that when I say yes to something, I'm saying no to something. It's
But
equal. For example, one of the stories I tell is my son was on a travel soccer team, and I said yes to travel to take. We were in a private school; we had to provide transportation, so I volunteered. I had a big van to take all the boys to the away games. At the same time, I'm trying to keep the house as clean as I did. I'm trying to do all the laundry. I'm trying to keep up with everything. Didn't realize when I say yes to that, I'm saying no to this for a temporary basis because we can't do it all, even though we try.
gotcha.
And so realizing that my yes also means a no. And who we say no to the most is our own self, taking care of ourselves. And I don't mean taking care of others is bad, but it can be taken too far. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, I understand that very well. I love the idea that whenever we make any kind of decision with the use of our time or whatever,
Hmm.
it is a decision. And if I am going to be here, that means I can't be here, 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 and here. So that's very interesting, very thought provoking.
Yeah.
So, with your situation and being so young, did your family let you stay with them, your parents, while you raised
I,
this child?
I stayed in the home until she was 3. I was 18 when I moved out. But I began to have to pay rent and I began to have to pay for her stuff. So I didn't get a free ride, if you will, on anything with that. Um, I had I had some issues with that when I was younger, but I also now am thankful because it made me be an adult quick and made me stand up. It helped me to be able to do what I needed to do, but it was hard. So yes, at the age of 18, I finished high school at 16 and I became employed when I was 17 and then moved out when I was 18 and began to go to school nights one night and one class a quarter and work full time and raise her.
That is amazing. That took a lot of fortitude and a lot of moving forward. That's that's incredible. Plus the heartache. You said you were hurt. This was not not by choice. It sounds like
Correct.
it was
It was not by
abuse.
choice.
Okay, and so I would imagine there's some healing and that needed to take place from that.
For a lot of years, I did process to the level I could forgiveness because I did have my faith in God was strong. But that is also healing. I believe forgiveness is like an onion. You do it in layers. You can't do it all when there's something really traumatic that happens. And I love to walk people through that, to be able to help people to process the forgiveness piece. But the other stuff, saying yes to everything, the next one I talk about, the stumbling block, is wearing a mask and pretending we're okay when we're not okay. How many of
And that
you listening have said you're okay when you're really not? Or we pretend like or we're like chameleons around different people, to keep them happy as well. And we act different around different people. Peer pressure, all those kind of things where we just keep mask on and we really don't even know who we are sometimes of really what's important, because we've got all these plates in the air trying to keep everything going, saying yes to everything, making everybody happy, and saying we're okay when we're not okay. And it's okay not to be okay, but that isn't always given permission to be able to do that. And we have, I had so many responsibilities, I didn't have time not to be okay. To be able, it reminds me of the story. I don't know if you watched the movie Runaway Bride,
mhm.
Julia Roberts. And one of my favorite scenes in that movie is when she is sitting at the diner trying to decide what kind of eggs she likes. She's got scrambled eggs, she's got eggs Benedict, she's got poached eggs, she's got fried eggs, and she's in an omelet and all the, different kinds. And she's like, when I was with Joe, I like these eggs. When I was with Fred, I like these eggs. When I like this, and I don't even know what kind of eggs I like. And to me, that's a clear, that was, I love that scene because it represents us wearing masks when we're with certain people. We say we like things because they do, but do you really? And so learning how to be who God created you to be, and not and authentic and real, because that's the real you that people will truly love when we begin to be that, not some form of ours.
Isn't that interesting? And like, for example, in the movie, it took someone kind of calling her bluff for her to
Correct.
recognize that she was being a chameleon and that she didn't know who she was. And that's something I think is a part of our personal awakening. Just recognize, who am I? And going on a journey of, who am I? And it is recognizing, like, maybe it's tasting different eggs and seeing what you like, paying attention to what interests you, what truly makes you happy. Is that something that you did, going through that process of trying to figure out who you were?
Well, yeah, I got married at 21, so, but I had a 5-year-old at 21. So, you know, but I got married at 21 and I went fishing with my husband, future husband, when we were dating. I went hunting with him. I hate those things. They're not fun to me, but I did it. And so it took a while into the marriage for me to feel secure enough to go, I really don't want to go. I really don't like this. But it took a little while for me to begin to say, is it okay for me to say, can I just stay home and read a book or take the kids to the park or something? I don't really want to sit out in the hot sun and drowned worms.
I understand that very much. And, as we try to find that balance between, as part of a family, we end up doing things that we don't enjoy to support someone else. And as I went through my own trying to figure out who I am, it's okay to value myself, and it's okay to do things that I want, and it's okay to say no. But also, as a parent and as a wife, we do say yes a lot of times. So, because we need to support, and we need to show someone else that we care about them, and that is the way that we care. When you said you did that and you didn't like it, it reminded me of my daughter when she had a young man, and she said, he invited me to a basketball game. And so I went to watch. I thought, oh, you like this one, because I know you hate basketball. So and this is how I know that you're serious. You mean business. You're willing to just sit through this game that you do not like. So it is that there is a balance, and it's a tricky thing to kind of to figure out. I think a
Yeah.
lot of life is trying to figure out, okay, where do I fit, and how does this work, and how do the pieces work? I think a lot of times, as women in particular, we tend to put other people's needs, particularly in
Mhm.
families' needs, our children or our spouse or whatever, above ourself. And in a way, it's a kind and selfless thing. But in another way, if we have nothing to give, we have nothing to give,
Absolutely. I don't have to put them above, but I need to honor both.
for sure.
Be able to honor myself and know that if I need a day to do something or an afternoon to do something, then my kids will be better off by that. But man, is it, I walked through it. My husband jokes now, we've been married 37 years. So my husband jokes that I caught the fish I was after,
That was him.
and it was him.
And it sounds like
And
you had a very good catch if he adopted your lovely daughter and was able to make things work and move forward, and you stayed together for 37 years and counting. Good catch.
yes, he is an amazing catch. So yes, there were in 37 years, there was rough spots, and we have two girls and a boy together, and so and eight grandkids now. So yeah, so it is learning to walk through the process. The most wonderful thing that he did is he just loved me as I healed. He just loved me. And that is an amazing thing to happen. But who I realized who loved me first, and I began to grow in that, is that God loved. And is the capacity that I was able to receive his love, I was then able to be healed and love others the same way. So the right relationship helps, but my husband's messed up.
That means he's human. I think we're all
'Cause
a little
he's
messed up.
human, and so he isn't the one to heal me. He isn't the one to meet all my needs because he did things to hurt. He's human. And we learn that the more we can receive God's love. And so I love helping people do that.
That is absolutely fantastic and beautiful. And I have spoken with just the recent podcasts coming with that same similar message. So, for feeling God's love, which is something that we really do need to heal, that is the source of healing. For me, with my personal story, I felt unlovable.
Yeah.
And that affected my relationship with God because I thought, yes, God loves his children, except for me, because,
Right.
because it's me and I'm not lovable. So it took a while for me to be able to feel that. Do you have some suggestions to help people be able to feel that love is perfect and that love is healing? But for me, for a long time, I didn't think that was for me. I didn't think it included me, if that makes sense.
Totally makes sense. And I relate completely
Mhm.
uh, of feeling unlovable. I, talked about my low self esteem and how, still feeling unworthy and all of those
Right.
kind of feelings that are associated with that. What I began to do through um, some books I read and some different process, and I help other people do it too, is simply ask God, I don't feel your love. I don't know how to do this. I don't know where to begin, but you say you love me. So show me today how much you love me. And I would say it every day. Find some way to get through to me so that I can actually receive your love because I want to, but I don't know how.
That
And it's not an overnight thing. But I was after that, seeking that. I was like pursuing God. So it was something that I actively did on a regular basis, if not daily. Show me you love me. Teach me how much you love me. Show me the breadth, the height, the depth of your love. Teach me what it means to that you love me. In that revelation, he began to show me things throughout my life. He began to show me through different things that would occur, different people, all kinds of ways, because he can get through to us. Just ask.
that's beautiful. And I love that in your asking, you are quite honest, saying, "I don't know how, and I
Yes.
don't know how I don't feel this." Um, with me, my healing process, part of it was expressing my honest anger. It's like, "I'm mad at you. You
Right.
weren't there when I needed you, or I didn't feel it. I feel abandoned. I feel alone. And I didn't want to say that because I wanted to be respectful to God, but it was not until I was completely honest that it was able to sink through, which is kind of interesting.
It is funny though that we think that if we don't say it out loud, he won't know.
It's so funny. A lot of things that we think in our heads that make perfect sense in our head, when you say them out loud, they really do sound pretty silly. It's like,
It's
yeah,
like
you're right.
somehow if I don't say this out loud,
Probably
you
already
won't
knew.
they and so when we say it, it doesn't surprise him. It's a revelation to us. And
Yes.
that's where the freedom comes in is releasing that so that, he isn't surprised. He's never disappointed with us. Let me explain that statement a little bit. To be disappointed with a person, I had to have thought they were going to do something they didn't or behave in a way that they didn't, and it surprised me or disappointed me. But
Okay.
God's never surprised. He knows when we make mistakes that we're going to make them. He knows when we're mad, angry, turning away from him, whatever it is, blaming him. He knows it. It doesn't surprise him, and he still loves us. That's things that floors me. It's like he knew it. He knew I was going to, and he still loves us. So, but that to me was one of my revelations is he's never, I can't do anything to make me him love me more, and I can't do anything to make him love me less.
Isn't that lovely? That is very important. It's when it's important every day, but I think it's also particularly important when we're feeling unworthy and
Yes.
feeling not in a good place and not
Right.
able to, like, oh, he doesn't want to listen to me because I'm XYZ or whatever.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay. So now I read in your bio, it says clients have said she will help you walk away from feeling overwhelmed, stress, and self doubt into peace and confidence, like a refreshing vacation to your body and soul. That's quite a beautiful testimonial for what you do. And I also loved when you said that, we're not just going to overcome this, we're going to kick it to the curb.
Exactly. Yes, I have a lot of clients who have been in counseling for years, and counseling is good in its place. But several of my clients have said to me, when I said, well, what's the difference? You're now better and you weren't, and you've been in counseling for years. And that was their statement is that in counseling, I keep talking about coping with my problems, strategies or rehashing the problem. And that's not what I do as a coach. I help you figure out how to transform them or eliminate those pains in your past so that you can have your luggage, as I use that analogy, to take you into your actual destiny. So much of our pain, think about my pain, it was awful, but I am more able to help other women than I would have been if that hadn't happened.
Right.
So it can all turn to good, and I have an amazing daughter out of it.
Yes. Yes. You have many good things that came
Yes,
out of it. A
yes,
beautiful human, and
yes,
also the ability to have something of value to share with other people.
yes,
Because it's a situation that people immediately recognize that that's hard. That's a
yes,
hard thing.
right.
Well, can you tell me a little bit about your nonprofit, the
Yes.
Vibrant Living International?
Everything that I do comes from Vibrant Living International. It's my the ministry that I'm working within. So through all of this process, we have one-on-one coaching, we have group coaching, and I also have a podcast as well, and just try to do as much as I can to elevate people out of their pain into their dreams.
Wow, that's a beautiful saying. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing your story and for rising above. Because when you rose above, you didn't just help yourself,
Yes,
you put yourself in a place that you can help other people. And I think that's a little bit of a responsibility that we carry as we deal with our situations where it's not just about me by fixing myself, working on myself, kicking those kicking that past to the curb, then we're able to help the next person, because on this pathway of life, there's going to be someone in front of us and there's going to be someone behind us. And there's always something that we can do to be able to help lift and serve the people behind us.
Absolutely.
So thank you for visiting with me today. I really appreciate it.
You are very welcome. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share. I love to be an encouragement and inspire people wherever I can.
Ah, well done. In closing, I'd like to share a quote from Canadian philosopher, entrepreneur, and author Matsona Luwayo. He said, "Our most beautiful dreams are born from our most unpleasant nightmares." Today, I invite you to take action to transform the nightmares of your past into the beautiful dreams of your future. See you next time on Linda's Corner.